Hey, good day to you. This is Brother from the Third Stone, Tales from the Retirement Zone, and I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. It is sunny outside, and I'm loving it. I hope this is a much better lighting because the other day when I did a film, I had, I was the window was behind me, and it was kind of a glare. So sorry to put you through that, but I'm here to talk about quickly hobbies. So when you retire, get yourself a hobby. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing right now as we speak. I am on ancestria.com and I am working on my family tree. Now, the thing about this, ancestry.com is run by the Mormons out in Utah. And I've been able to trace my mother's line all the way back to 1791. 1791. And her name was Priscilla Pounds. And I'm going to briefly go and talk about this and do a profile. She was born in 1791. She died in 1893. And her mom, if I'm not mistaken, was Mary Polly. And she was with her enslaved person. They used to call it retainer, but I think people complained about that and took that off because if you retain somebody, that means you're a slave. So he was a mulatto, and they had children or a child, and that was Scylla or Priscilla Pounds, and that goes all the way back to the 1700s. They came from England, so they settled in Virginia, and there began the family line from my mother's side. Now, on my father's side, I'm not able to go so far. Um, I can go back to the early 1800s, if I'm not mistaken. And let me click on this real quick. And hold on, come over here real quick. I'm going to take my time with this video a little bit. Henderson Bain. Henderson Bain was his name. And he was born in 1830. Okay. And let's do a quick profile on him. And his spouse was born in 1838. And I have the death records and everything. And matter of fact, I have since the 1880 census and the 1870 census, which will tell me who he was, what he did for a living, and where he lived. Most of the people down in this area were farmers. So farmers, or they were working for somebody on a farm, i.e. sharecroppers. So that in itself, gave you an idea of what they had to endure and what they were doing in this harsh country in Virginia. And that's it. But I implore people to do this. I'm doing this through ancestry.com. It started with my cousin of mine, and he was a professor at a school in Kentucky, and he got me to look at this, and he started it off. It took him years, and this is before ancestry.com had came out, and that I took over. So this is one of my quests, is to find out, where my people have come from. Now, my mother's side, it started in England. Now, and this is before they had black codes and black laws. Okay, even though they had slavery and everything, black codes and black laws stopped people from marrying or cohabitating with other races. Now, that being said, now I need to find out what tribe I originated from in Africa. And that's my quest. And I know there's other companies out there that will do that, and take your DNA, and you'll be able to pinpoint your nation or your tribe in Africa, or wherever you may be at that point in time, or where your people come from. That's important because what's going on, and this is a sidebar, what's going on out here, a lot of times is people don't know where they came from or their beginnings. Once you know your beginnings, once you know your legacy or what legacy you want to leave behind, you will act accordingly. That ceases to stop because if you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going. So that's why there's a lot of mayhem out here. Um, and the most important thing that I'm going to leave behind on this planet, on terra firma, is a legacy of what I am, what my ancestors were. That's important. Ergo, my children will know that. Their children will know that, and so on and so forth. So they have a line. So they have a starting point, if you will. Now, when I finally get to that point where I can find the people in Africa, I think that will complete the circle. My next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the town courthouse, which is several hours from here, and I'm going to actually look up the slave rolls if I have that opportunity and find out exactly who's who. I even have, matter of fact, this particular site that I'm using, Ancestry.com, even had the picture of the plantation or the slave house. And that was important. They had, I have pictures that other people are working on in my family, and we're all working on this. And so we're sharing knowledge and information. But right now, we're going on that same pace. We're all at the same place. And so it's exciting to me. And like I said, I tell people all the time, I said, if you do this, you'll find out a lot about yourself, who you are, what you were about, what your people are about. And there's a legacy because as I was growing up, my father and his brothers and sisters, everyone went to military or college, except my father. My father did the Navy, but he didn't go. He could not complete college because he had to work on the farm after my grandparents passed. So he was the only one that did not complete his studies. Everybody else, they did so. And so I had a basis, or I had an example of what to become. And that's how important legacies are. And doing this hobby, um, finding out that, which I already knew, that my aunties had went to historically black colleges and everything else. I mean, that was important because I went to historically black college. So that's important. Then my daughters and my son can see where they get that drive from the drive to be successful in life. So there you have it. This is Brother from the Third Stone. I hope I didn't talk you to death, but there's also, like, I'm going to try this other one called 23andMe, I think it's called. And I'm also going to try another one that specifically will find or help me find my roots in Africa, which is important because Ancestry.com, they narrowed it down to several countries in the western coast of the continent of Africa. And that was Benin, Cameroon, and Nigeria. So that's where I need to hone my skills, or how should I say, focus on that point. All right. So in any event, I will talk to you later. You guys have a blessed day. Peace, Brother from the Third Stone. Later.